video we're going to look at something called a wildcard query, which is an incredibly useful thing to be able to do. It's also similar to a technique you can use on the web called wildcard search. And really, you use a wildcard query when you're looking for something, but maybe you're not entirely sure what it is that you're looking for, or you can't remember maybe the full name or the full information. It's easier to show you than it is to explain. So I'm going to base this on my keepers table in my dinosaur database, and I'm looking for a specific keeper, and I know that the keeper's name begins with D, but I can't exactly remember what name it was. So what I can do is I can just go for keeper ID. Let's say I want to know all the information, most of the information about him or her. So let's have gender as well, and specialism. So this is kind of all the key information about them, and I need to know exactly who they are. So what I do is I go to the surname, and I know that the surname begins with a D. So what I do is I type a D and then put a star after it. So if I now run that query, if I say keepers beginning with D, and I run that query, there you go, it brings up the two queries in my database, two keepers, sorry, in my database whose surname begins with D. And you don't have to restrict that search to a single character. I could have typed in DOD or DEA and it would have found that. And obviously I can apply that on fields where there's more textual information. So if you look on here, for instance, I might want to pick some information out from the key info about each keeper. There might be some keywords I want to find, and a wildcard search will do that for you. So just make sure you're aware of the syntax again. Let's just check that. I use the asterisk, and you can see what Access has done. It's actually changed it, so it says like D and with a star, and it's put it in speech marks. So that's how Access would write it. But all I needed to do to set that up and get it working was put D and the star, and that's an example of a wildcard.